All right, so let's go over the next set of matches here and see what we got going on. So, yeah, still in the early stages of the week. It's what, Saturday now. We got SDR that's going on, so that should be interesting. I used my Binding Worlds Forma. I picked up a Duo Sanaki because I think that unit is really, really underrated, and I think she's going to get a fantastic refine and remix whenever that eventually happens. And I think with all of the debuffs and penalties that we're getting into the current meta of the game, I feel like she will definitely age well because the dominance thing that she has, all the way that she does damage, I still currently don't understand how right now she's not able to kill things, and I think it's probably more down to the amount of flat damage reduction that is currently everywhere in the game. So once that's been neutralized or curbed, or once they start to go in another direction, maybe we'll start seeing units like Duo Sanaki again surge to the forefront of the meta with just how they're able. The way that they do damage is very unique, and it's not a lot of units that utilize the penalties in a positive way, to the way that in the same vein that Duo Sanaki does it. I think you got to do a Makaya, and just a few others. Think of Kadean, Ursula as well. Just a few other units that truly take advantage of all the penalties that can be inflicted upon a unit to turn that into damage. Now, this was a really tough defense to try to plan out, but thankfully, with the power of the safety fence, we had some turns to be able to wait for our additional unit, and then we were able to get up there and start to make some big boy plays, make some things go our way. Really, I gotta, Byleth is fantastic, and so is Tana, man. This New Year's Tana is just so good. I often contemplate about whether I should swap out her B skill for that air superiority thing that has the pass in it, but the special jump is really good, and then the B skill has the Kanto, so it would change the seal, the emblem ring that I would give to her. Currently, she's running the Celica ring so that she can warp in, but then the B skill, if you change that to air superiority, she can still warp. So then you maybe run the Sigurd ring. Who do I currently have that on? No one on the team.
My heart is racing.
Okay, so that's actually available. Typically, I run the Sigurd ring on Plumeria. I didn't notice that no one was actually using it on the team, so that is actually an avenue. That was the main thing that was holding my investment into this New Year's Tana back, because Plumeria was here, and it's kind of difficult to drop Plumeria, but as you can see, I've had to drop Plumeria to run the bonus units. Veil, who sucks. But yeah, that's actually an interesting option now that I noticed that. So I'll probably consider that for the future, because there's going to be scenarios where I won't have Plumeria available, and having the +1 movement on Tana. Also at the same time, because there's so many Heimdallers, having the +1 movement is kind of a negative sometimes, because the stall is really, really strong. So that's something that you have to consider as well. Not a lot of units have that legendary Yuri effect, where they don't get, if you get stalled, then you don't really get stalled. So not a lot of units have that effect yet, which is definitely something that could be played into the further we go along the stall meta. But honestly, I don't see a lot more units aside from Heimdall getting that effect, because it's one of the things that makes her so unique and powerful. I think they're going to keep it that way for a while. But yeah, we got the space to stay safe, and we're going to utilize it. We're going to break some structures as well, and take out the units one by one here. This is definitely not something that you can tank. This defense can go so many ways that it's just terrifying. So you really want to player phase this. Byleth alone will re-enable 2 more units on the enemy team, and you don't want to be in that situation where you're getting 2 more units running into you. So interestingly, he's actually a unit that could play well on defense if you find a spot for him. I just have not been able to figure out where I would put him, because you kind of want him in there from the jump, just to get that dance off. But sometimes it might not work out in the way where you would get 2 units running, because there is that HP condition, so it might not happen exactly the way that you want it on defense. But I think it's actually a fantastic option. He's a pretty decent nuke, especially if you have him invested. decently tanky, and he offers a ton of support when he starts, moving. Oh, I think I ended up surrendering this one. Did I? Yeah, I messed up. You'll see it, I think. Elm ran out of Kanto for some reason that I just did not understand. I don't know if it's that he only gets Kanto when he's transformed, but he went to break a structure and just got stuck, and I couldn't save him. Unfortunately, because I had a whole thing, planned out in my head, and it just did not materialize because of that. I think that's what happens. But let's see. Let's let this play out
together.
But
if Lady Embla were here.
New Year's Tana, very good. I keep saying it. I was very close to picking up the baby Tana from the Binding Worlds, but I went with the upgraded Duosanaki because I think there's more value in that. I don't know, I could be wrong. That's definitely what happened. So this was a loss. I really had this one kind of planned out, but Elm lost his Kanto for some reason, and I don't know why. And I think Byleth's dance was supposed to re-enable it too, but that also didn't happen, so a lot of questions. But in the end, I think this one, I tried to solve it, but it just... big throw. So this one was a loss, so that's unfortunate. And I really wanted to see if this Camilla with the Brave Hits was able to take out this Hector, but that's something we'll find out at a later date, I guess. This one just fumbled on my part. There's no way to retrieve him. Don't know why he lost his Kanto, like, honestly. Don't know if he has to be transformed to get it, but whatever. I think that might be it, but I didn't read that far ahead. And I misclicked the Byleth there as well, so there's a lot of mistakes. Well, it could have been salvaged, but after misclicking on the Byleth there, it just wasn't going to be possible anymore. I don't think. And actually, no, I don't think it would have been salvaged because Elm is the second dancer. Alright, so here we go. This one was a really quick one to bounce back after that ridiculous fumble. We just went in here, took out the key units, and then got out of the match very quickly. This is why I really just love Tana. Just great for these types of teams. Like I said, I was considering picking up the baby Tana, but I don't know. I'm considering buying the Binding Worlds pack just to go back and pick up that baby Tana, but I don't know if it's like worth it. I mean, I do get the orbs, and I could potentially use those orbs on one of these banners that's going on. I have, banners, speaking of, I have finished summoning on the spring banner, I think I mentioned. I went for Soth because I was going through my barracks. There was a dagger challenge, and I was going through my main barracks, and I realized I only had like 3 dagger units. Yunaka, Joshua ascended, and Layla. And I was like, this isn't good. Only 3 dagger units, colorless daggers to be specific. So I figured it makes sense to get this. So he's a new unit. New unit equals good, I'm assuming. Hopefully he can fill a gap for me in the future. And, maybe I can use his fodder to, I don't know, build another unit or something. Build Joshua, because Joshua's weapon is a little bit outdated. I would love for him to get his refinery mix at some point soon in the near future, because he's killing power, of course. And he needs a kit overhauled. He needs some new skills. So this could be a source of that for him. I have a bunch of other dagger units, but they're in the reserves. None of them are really good, except for, I want to say, Kagero, the Ninja Kagero, because of the miracle thing. And I think that plays well into the current meta, but it's just, I don't know, I can't be bothered to go get her. But most dagger units just don't have the damage output required to compete in the meta that we're currently in. And it's kind of weird. We're kind of at the same point for bows as well, but the bow units are kind of sticking in there a little bit longer. I noticed that I have a lot more bow units, probably because of the effective against flyer thing, in comparison to where daggers don't really have that. Their main niche is the disarm trap. And I've actually been looking around, like I've been trying to build a team for this season. Naka is actually really perfect for this current meta because she has the two things that you actually really need to play exceptionally. And those two things are pass and disarm trap. And she has both of those, pass built in, and she can run disarm trap in her B skill. You don't really need to, but it actually really helps you out a ton on offense. As long as you can clear, let's say, the grass terrain, that would, hit her with the cancer control. You can really just move around the map a ton if you have a Yunaka. And I've kind of noticed, like in my search for the perfect unit for the current meta, in my search, I've noticed that they haven't really been too liberal with giving out those two effects, the combination. Well, I guess it probably can only be combined on a dagger unit. I mean, you also have the legendary Shez, who also has pass, but he can't really run disarm trap because his B skill is kind of locked to some of his damage output, so it's not really an option for him, legendary male Shez, but he does have the pass. And then you start looking at other options, like who can I run? You can't run both pass and disarm trap on most units, most dagger units to be specific. So Yunaka is actually like top tier when you can consider those two things, and then you factor in her damage output as well. Yes, she might not be a tank buster, but she still hits very hard. So they kind of cooked. Like, they did a really good job when they made Eddie Yunaka. Like, she is still, like, if you consider like what she can do, she's still a really decent player phase option. Really be looking for something that would give her an extra action, just so that she doesn't get hit completely by cancer control. But she's not really the type of unit that you want coming in on turn 3. If you get to turn 3, you really want a powerhouse. You want a savior, or not a armored savior. I mean, like a unit that can hit really hard, come in and save you on that third turn. That's like crunch time, and your back's against the wall type of deal. So you need a heavy hitter. But if you could get an extra action out of AD Yunaka somehow, I think that would be really beneficial in terms of like just being able to clear maps at this stage in the game. But I'm not quite sure what that would look like. But yeah, I think she's, like, at least for me, I think I really tried to figure out how to fit her onto a team, but it just wasn't possible because of Veil. But I really tried to figure out a way to get her onto a team, because having the pass plus Elm plus disarm trap opens up a lot of doors for me to be able to initiate in Astra season or light season, whichever one. It opens up a lot of doors for me to do a ton of shenanigans in terms of just being able to run player face options smoothly. And I really wanted to try that out, but there's just not enough team slots for me to build a team around those or that combination effectively, unfortunately. So that's why you're not really seeing too much of her currently, or you're not going to see her on any of my teams. And I also didn't want to re-bless her. I still have her light blessed. I didn't want to waste the blessing unless I was absolutely sure that this was the combination that I was going for. But that's something to be considered. And it's kind of weird that they kind of transitioned that archetype to flyers now, but the thing about flyers is that they can't really run disarm trap. I picked up Tana New Year's. It's not New Year's. It's one of those festival Tanas. Tana plus Peony. I picked that one up. Sumo Tana. And I was like, man, this is actually not a bad unit in terms of just like what she can do. She just needs a refine to get more firepower. But there's something there with that Tana. Again, pass disarm trap is kind of what you're looking for. I guess you could replicate it by running Celica Ring disarm trap, which is one of the things that I was considering, but it's still a little bit not exactly there just yet, because you can get hindered by Warp Bubble. And that's why the pass is such a requirement. I don't know if at some point we're going to get pass as a seal. But I think at that point, like dagger units will definitely make a massive comeback because that's kind of the only thing, kind of, in my opinion, holding them back in terms of being ultra mobile. Yuri, for instance, I think that would be fantastic on him, the pass combination. But yeah, Banner. Banner.
I can do it.
Banner wasn't great.
You'll be all right.
That new Banner was just not great. Oh, this was also really
Yes.
well thought out and well constructed defense. It took me a while to try to figure out how to get up here successfully and clear the team, and I had to pick my targets carefully. I knew that based off the placement of the enemy summoning circle that it had to be a baby Sather or an actual Sather, because why else would you put it there? Like, no one else is going to survive there aside from Sather. And it's actually, I was testing against, I don't remember whose match it was, but they were able to close like 3 of my units' actions because of the positioning. So it's actually still a good strategy.
Yes.
Especially if you can have like multiple Sathers, so you can end a lot of, a lot of the players, a lot of actions in one turn. It makes sense to do it like that. But yeah, what was I saying? Banner. Erica is really just a gross unit. I don't like that unit in terms of like the combination, the choice of who character. I don't know if they're just like restricted by who's available to voice, to do the voice work, or what it is, but why are they releasing so many of these units back to back, the same unit again and again and again? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what's going on there. And then, I mean, yeah, the argument can be made that there's a small pool of units to pull from, but I don't agree with that. Like, if you make a unit good, people will summon for that unit regardless of whether or not the unit is popular. Just give that unit great skills and fantastic effects, people will summon. That's really the basic formula for making something desirable. Make it good. So I don't agree with them just consistently putting out the same units over and over again. It's just so kind of cringe at this point. It makes you not even like the unit anymore. And that's kind of what happened to Camilla at a certain stage, where we just got a ton of Camilla ults and everybody kind of turned on her. It's like, can we, like, enough? And then, now we're seeing a ton more Camilla ults. Like, okay. But yeah, it's kind of getting that point with Eric and Micaiah as well. I don't dig it. Yeah, one-hit nuke, we've seen that before. Those don't really age well, so don't expect a lot out of this unit. I mean, she'll be good for like 2 weeks, and then we'll move beyond to the next nuke who can actually do something. So that's like another reason to not summon for her. The dual button, shared spoils, is really good, but then again, having shared spoils on your dual button is a absolute waste. The only place where that is valuable is in summoner duels, and that player base is getting smaller and smaller. It's definitely not expanding because it's a really competitive game mode. And like I said, there's debuffs everywhere, and to keep track of everything that's going on right now is just so ridiculous. It's so, like, it's one of those things that make you realize that, it's not even like you're wondering like how like your unit can all of a sudden kill something, and it's because the debuffs are gone. Like, you're just not even paying attention that you've been cleansed, or maybe the debuff didn't hit. But because you're always debuffed, you're not even seeing the full potential of some of your powerful units sometimes, and getting the most out of them. And it's just so weird that everything can kill anything because of how the debuffs, how impactful the debuffs are. And it just, like, this didn't always used to be the case. There used to be, you had to put effort into it to get the stat swings, and now they just exist, like, out of the box right away. Start of the match, the debuffs happen, and you just start playing without even having to do anything to get them. I don't like that. It's like you just have a unit that's a win more button. We have too many units like that these days, and it's making things a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but I don't like it. So yeah, Erica's there, no brave hits, which is weird. That's kind of what Erica is known for, her speed and power. I guess the power is there, but it's really kind of also, it's great that Micaiah is there actually contributing to the harmonic duo, as opposed to the harmonic CYL units that we've been getting, who whatever is going on there. It just shows that IS can actually do something creative when they choose to, and they don't choose to do it often enough. But yeah, unit is still bad. Hate it. If not for the fact that I needed Soth, I wouldn't summon on this banner. But like I said, I need more dagger units. Soth, for the matter, for that instance. Why is he here?
Certainly.
There's so many other choices. There are dagger units that you can definitely find in Sacred Stones.
Leave it to me.
You could have used this as an opportunity to release another Joshua. I would have been fine with that. The thing is, it's literally the same Soth that they released before with the same Bane. This is just a better version. Change his color. Why is he still a colorless dagger? Do something different. And they just reprinted the exact same unit, buffed the skills a little bit, and said, here, buy it. And that is just so gross, man. It's like, I really sometimes wonder what's going on at IS, man. It's just, I don't know. But I do need the unit, so I definitely pulled for it. Got 2 copies, and I sparked
Let's go. Favorable wind.
Thor, who I think is the best unit on the banner because of just how many things she's offering to your team. I think she's really great for defense, which is probably where I'll end up putting her. But yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like IS has been making a few fumbles lately, and noticeable ones at that. It's things that are just really strange. I guess every game developer goes through periods where things are a bit weird. But usually that's when they take note of the voice of the community of the game and try to work with them to get things back on the right path. But I've never really seen IS put a lot of stock into what the community has to say. Yes, they've done things based off our request, but sometimes it feels like we're not the main focus of their game, which is such a bizarre thing to say. They just want our money, which, I mean, that's kind of what it all boils down to in the end. It's just how can we get money from these nerds? But sometimes there are people that are actually there that actually care about the game and want us to enjoy the product that they're putting out. And I don't know if they're just in that phase where those people don't have enough power to make things the way that they want to, because sometimes when the finances start hitting you in the face and it's not making the money in your pocket like it used to, the developers start losing their power, and it starts to go to the sides of meeting that bottom line, and it's definitely never a good place to be in, regardless of whatever company you're running. Meeting your bottom line is a very stressful position to be in as a manager or a product line leader or a developer. It's never a great space to be in. It really sucks your creativity away, and it leads you to make mistakes that you sometimes would otherwise not do. So I don't know if that's what's going on. Their concern isn't necessarily on the game. Maybe they have Fortune's Weave that they're trying to build out and flesh out, and the whole shadows thing, maybe they're trying to figure out that as well. I don't know. Maybe they're just having too much on their plate, and they're back in the space of trying to save the game in terms of, or the company rather, and not the game. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm cooking up theories, trying to make excuses for why things are kind of weird right now in the game, and I don't know where we're headed. You see some really positive things. Personally, I think the change to get rid of the Tempest, the Tempest trial units, I think that's a positive in my opinion. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because those units usually sucked anyways. Yeah, we get 1 in 10 that were great, 1 in 12 that were good, but the same could be said for the seasonal units that we're getting, and they have refines that will be upcoming just as well. So I feel like overall it's a change in the right direction. Debatable. I mean, people have different opinions on it, but that's just where I stand. But then you get things like Soth here on this banner, and it was just any other unit, anyone else.
By your will.
It didn't even have to be Bane. It could just be a completely new thing. It could be a different unit doing a different thing, and it would have been okay. But that's not the direction that they went in, and we just have to accept it and look at it as the weird show that it currently is. And you just don't like to see that from your favorite game. You want them to be doing good all the time, and I guess maybe submitting feedback for this. This is really feel bad. This is like one of those things where you'd submit a health check of like, bro, are you okay? Is everything all right over there? Just to check up on your friend and make sure that they're not doing anything silly. But I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. Summoner Duels R is currently going on or planned for today. I have no interest in watching Summoner Duels R because it's just the same team over and over again, just depending on who you're playing with, who you're viewing, and how well they use that particular team. Really, I don't think there's any fixing that game mode. SDR, there's just no saving that game mode. They might. I'm surprised that they haven't scrapped it.
Our love burns bright.
Because it's so easy for you to get hard countered. It's really, really easy for you to run into something that completely counters your team, and then there's just nothing you can do about it, and that's just the worst feeling in the world. So yeah, don't know why that still exists, but it's a thing. And I guess they just don't have anything to. It could be the perfect place. Like I said, they could just scrap this entire Shadows game mode and just like fit it into the slot where they'd be running SDR, and I'd be okay with that, But I'm not a game developer. I'm just a guy with opinions who plays this particular game quite frequently. I think this was a really good clear from me. I made the pieces that I had work. It was a bit challenging because, man, I'm really just uncertain about my units. I feel like getting the south is a good step in the right direction because he'll add something to my teams that I probably didn't have, but I'm just really just unhappy with a lot of my teams, and I feel like I need a change, but the units that I want to change to just aren't in the way that I want to play. The units don't exist yet, and I'm just trying to do the best with what I have, and it's working, but I can't say that I'm completely satisfied with the style of play that I have to utilize currently. But another clear. GG's. See you in the next one.